guys, don't you just love that card? So we're going to make that card today. I actually made this style of card a while ago, maybe a year ago or less. And I used Lift Me Up to make this style of card. It's a fun fold card, so it's really, it's hard to tell by the picture, but you can see the 3D depth. This is a 4 1/4 by 5.5 card, so it fits in the envelope and you can mail it. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna show you how I made this one today. There's lots of coloring involved with it today, so it's super cute. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. So for our cardstock today, we're gonna need Old Olive, and then we also are using the Festive Farmhouse Designer Series paper. For the Old Olive, you're gonna need a piece. This is gonna be the card base. This one here is measured 4 1/4 by 11, and you're gonna score it at 5.5 and 2 3/4. And then you're gonna need a strip, which is cut at 1 by 11, and you're gonna also score that at 5.5 and 2 3/4. And then you're gonna need 2 pieces. These ones here are cut 1 and 3 1/4, and you're gonna go ahead and score each end at 1/4 of an inch. The Designer Series paper, you are gonna need 1 piece at 5 1/4 by 4. You're gonna need 2 pieces. These ones here are cut 2 1/2 by 3 3/4. And you're gonna need 2 strips. These ones here are cut 3/4 by 2 1/2. And then 1 strip, this is 3/4 by 5 1/4. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and take our bone folder, and we're just gonna give a good crease on all of our scored lines. So now we're gonna take our card base, and this is how it's gonna fold. It's gonna fold in like this. So you have your 2 pieces here, folds in and 1 folds out. So it's gonna set like this. And we're gonna go ahead and just put our Designer Series paper on this first. Take your largest piece, this is the 5 1/4 by 4. And we're just gonna stick this right here on the inside piece of this card. And then our 2 pieces here, these are gonna go right here as panels. So what you wanna do is you just wanna go ahead and line this up so that these 2 are even. And then you're gonna put this piece right here. And don't worry about this being shorter. This strip is gonna cover that up. So you just wanna make sure your top is all even. So it's gonna look like this. And again, your top should all be even up here. Then you're gonna take this strip. Now your card, your longer piece of your card goes this way and it folds like this. Your strip, your longer piece is gonna go here, and your shorter side's gonna fold in this way. So this is how your card is going to actually move. You're gonna just glue this down up to the front here, and then this is gonna glue here, and then you're gonna have that moving part here. So we're gonna go ahead and put our Designer Series paper on this strip here. So your longer strip will go on the longer piece. And then these 2 will go right here. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna glue this onto this piece here, and I recommend a strong glue, so I'm gonna use my liquid mono glue. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my glue just down here on the bottom. And then I'm gonna put this piece, just gonna line this up down at the bottom corner here. And then just give it a minute or so for it to tack up. So once you have that piece glued there, then I'm gonna go ahead and take my mono glue, and I'm just gonna put it on the back side. And then I'm just gonna flip this over and glue this down. Let's give that a minute to tack up. So once that's tacked up, this is how your card will now fold. So there's a square in the middle there. Can you guys see that square? So now this is where these two are going to come in place. So your little tabs here, you want to fold them so that they're both the same way, so they're facing inward. So if you can see that, the little tabs are inward. And then you're going to put your liquid mono glue on the outside of these two tabs, and we're going to stick them in between that square. So this is going to be more of an eyeballing thing to make sure they're nice and even. And I recommend this multi-glue because you can go ahead and move these around before it tacks up. So if you're crooked or you want it in a different position, you have a little bit of time. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and then stick these little tabs up against the sides. Once you glue those in, your card should look like this. So you're going to have the two little pieces right here. Now what we're going to do is you're going to need a bunch of Whisper White to do some stamping and some die cutting, and also some real red. So we're just going to set this aside. So to save time, I've already stamped these and cut them out. So you're going to need the house, you're going to need a truck, you're going to need 2 trees, 1 wreath, and then the picket fence. You're going to need actually 2 pieces of the picket fence. And then your little bows, those are cut in real red, and then this little stitched shape on here, which is in your dies. It's this little guy here. So in your bows, when you cut them out, you have 6 already there, so you don't have to cut 6 at a time. So that is nice. Those are the dies. There also are 2 wreaths in there in case you want to do 2 at a time. So those are what you're going to need. And I wanted to show you guys, I use the precision plate to cut the fence out, which I highly recommend if you have the precision plate to use that because of the details. I just want to show you guys before I pop this out, with this fence, because there's a lot of detail in there, you're going to want your die brush and the foam mat that it comes with, and you're going to lay your die down, face down, and you're just going to roll the brush over it, and it's going to pop out all those little small pieces, and it'll pop it out on your foam mat, and then your fence will be all popped out. There's one little piece in there, but it's not a big deal. You take your paper piercer and you just kind of poke some of these holes in here, and it'll pop your fence up. Should be able to pull this right off of here, and then you see there's one piece of fence stuck in there which comes out easily. So all my pieces have been stamped out in Tuxedo Memento Black. So before I get coloring all of these, with the house, I wanted to stamp out the Christmas lights that come here in this set, and I'm going to stamp those out in basic gray. I'm just going to stamp them along the eaves of the house. And then the last bit of stamping here that I want to show you guys is your little stitch shape frame here, your little tag. You're going to take the Happy Christmas Wishes out of this set, and I'm using real red. And then what I did as an added little touch is, so I just went and took my tag and just kind of laid it on the foam stamping pad here to give it that kind of square effect. And you can do this with the new pads too. And I just kind of laid it up against the foam, so it gives it that neat little look. So that's it for the stamping. The rest of this I'm going to go ahead and color. I'm going to color everything but the fence and our tag topper here. And I'm just using the Stampin' Blends to color these in. You pick whatever colors you want. You know, it's your design. You color it the way you want to color it. I will leave a link in the video as to which markers I actually used. So I'm just going to color these, and then I'll be right back and we'll assemble the card. So once you have everything colored, now we're just going to start to assemble our project. So what I've done is this little wreath here, I recommend a pair of tweezers and your paper piercer to help assemble this. So this little wreath here, I'm just going to take a Stampin' Up! Dimensional, just a mini one, and put it on the back of this wreath. And this is going to go right on the house, right at the top here. Then we'll go ahead and we'll assemble the fence here. Now the fence, you're going to have your two pieces of fence. This one I used in my previous project, so it's a little shorter. So this fence is going to line up right on the top here. So it's going to go all the way to the end. So the full fence will not fit, so you're going to need another little piece. So you're just going to trim off a little piece from your other fence and just kind of anchor it there. So what I did in order to glue this down was I just used the Liquid Tombow mono glue. So I just lined it up on the bottom strip and just put the glue there. And then this fence will sit nicely across the designer series paper, and it'll and then you can press it into your old olive. So I'll just take my paper snips and just trim this fence to the length that I need. So where these two pieces of fence meet, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there and glue them together to give it a little bit extra strength. Then I'm just going to take all my bows and I'm going to glue them on my fence. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of this mono glue on there. You don't need a whole heck of a lot. And this is where the tweezers come in handy. And then I'm just going to line them up on my fence, and I'm going to put them on each fence post. There's 6 of them there. So once you have your bows on, isn't that adorable? Looks so cute on that fence. So once you have all your bows on there, then we're going to go ahead and we're going to put our trees on. The one tree we're just going to glue to the side panel over here. So we're just going to use your liquid mono glue to glue down this tree. Your tree should be on that side panel. The next tree we're going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I'm going to use some mini ones and some regular dimensionals. So this tree is going to lie right here. And we're going to use some Stampin' Up! Dimensionals to pop this up on the front of the card. This is going to just get popped up right here. And then our last thing we're going to do is we're going to put our house and our truck on. And in order to do that, you're going to need a piece of the clear acetate paper. And this is just cut into strips. This measures about 3 inches, 3.5 by 1/2 inch. So you're going to need 2 of these strips, and we're going to glue these onto the truck and the house. And you're going to use your liquid mono glue to glue that down so that it gives it a nice hold. So you're just going to put 2 little dabs there. You could also use your glue dots to glue it down. So you just want to place your truck on one, and then you want to just place your house on the other, kind of place it right in the middle of the house. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our truck and we're going to glue this to the front here. So I'm going to use a glue dot to glue that down. I actually will probably use 2 of them. I'll pick up 2. And you're going to want to just go ahead and eyeball this and figure out where you want your truck. You don't want it way up in the air because your house is going to be there. So you want to put it close to the bottom. And I kind of put it right on the edge. And then I'm just going to go ahead and stick my glue dot back there. and then glue my truck on. Just like that. So it's kind of sticking up a little bit off of the paper, if you guys can see that. I know it's kind of hard to see, but, and then you're gonna notice it's hanging down here. That's not a big deal. You just take your paper snips and just trim that off. And then we're gonna do the same thing with our house. Again, I'm gonna use the glue dots on that. So I'm gonna just pick up my card and kind of figure out where I want to put the house. I put the house closer to the tree, and it's up a little bit. And then I'll just go ahead and stick my glue dots back there. And then again, you're gonna have probably some that's hanging. Just take your paper snips and just snip that off. So that's your card. That's how you make your card. So simple. And if you guys can see it, it's hard because it's a 3D card, but you guys can kind of see how it's propped up there. So I love this. And then when they get their card, they can display it, and it's a little country scene, a little Christmas country scene that they can display on their mantle or wherever they store their cards. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and I do have a newsletter that I would love for you to subscribe to. You will get the latest information from Stampin' Up! And from me. Thanks for watching.